Welcome to Holistic Coach Mastery Podcast with Marina Stoichkova. It's your audio library for clarity, inspiration, and empowerment.
Hello, dear friend. I'm so happy to welcome you and to take you on this brand new journey. Obviously, you can tell this is my brand new podcast in which we are going to talk about everything that can help you to become more aware of what's happening in your life, why it is happening, and of course, what you can do to make it much better. We're going to talk about psychology and different areas of knowledge, spirituality, and also all kinds of strategies that you can apply immediately. So for the very first episode, I really wanted to pick up a theme that's very important and relevant to everyone. So that's why we are going to talk about how you can transform your life. Or with other words, how you can make your life much better. How you can have a significant positive change in your life. So the definition which we are going to use is profound and radical change that allows you to grow and move to a higher level. That's what we are going to discuss. And I will present you concrete strategies, advices which you can apply right now. Of course, it's also about motivation because that's what keeps us going. So let's begin with the different types of transformation. We have two general types. The first one is externally triggered. And we know that it really happens that there is an important event in your life. It could be positive. In most cases, it's challenging. It happens and it really transforms your whole life. After that, it's just that you are no longer the same person. Your beliefs change, your priorities, your values. So things are different after this event. But we are not going to focus so much on this type of transformation because it's not something that we can consciously create. Instead, we are going to talk about the other type of transformation, which is the self-conscious transformation, or the one which you initiate. You take the decision, you have to do all the work, and of course, you have concrete results that you would like to achieve. So that's the transformation we are gonna discuss. And of course, we have to begin with motivation. And motivation comes from the reasons, your why. Why you want to transform something in your life or your whole life altogether. Because if you don't have good enough reasons, it's highly possible that during time, after the first impulse leaves you, then it's really possible that you can drop. You can just, move on, forget about it. Well, it happened to all of us. But the way to avoid this is by having some compelling reasons. And they have to be very personal to you. They have to be important for you. And they may include, of course, yourself and some future vision that you have about yourself. But they may also include other people. For example, you might want to transform your life, your habits, because you want to be a great example for your kids. Usually this is something that works very well for many people. Or you might be willing to make your partner happier. Or you might be an example for your group of friends. Whatever the motivation, whatever your why is, you have to be very aware. You have to write it down and every now and then go back and remind yourself, why it was in the first place that you started this process. Because let's be honest, when we talk about profound changes, obviously it takes time, it's a process, and of course there are some challenges on the road. And what can allow us to go through those challenges are our reasons, the why, the compelling future that we would like to manifest or create for ourselves. So start with this question: why you want to transform your life. Because if this is, a weak reason or something which is not really resonating with your heart, it's highly possible that it won't be enough. For example, if, you just want to follow the example of someone else, you don't want to be different than others, or somebody else thinks you should do something, but you are not on the same path, then it's just not enough. So ask yourself, which are the very personal reasons, which is your very own why you want to transform your life, and make it a good one, make it a positive one. Don't put it like, okay, I really want to lose this weight, I don't want to be fat and ugly anymore. This, my friend, is not a compelling reason. This is something that you can use to beat yourself up, to criticize yourself, but that's not what we seek here. We are searching for something positive, uplifting, motivational, and empowering. Your very own why, which is about something positive that you can create, you can have, or you can become in the future. That's what we need here. So with the other example, let's say that you really want to lose some weight, but you have to put it like, I want to feel vital, I want to feel great about my body, I want other people to admire my body. That's perfectly fine if you want others to admire you, but make it a good one, make it a positive one. Don't focus on what's not working right now, focus on the beautiful picture that you would like to create. That's very, very important. And whenever you feel like you're losing momentum, you're losing motivation, you have some doubts, whatever, life happens, go back to your why. So I hope I made my point how important that is. And remember, that's the first step. The other thing which we have to discuss is how we look at this transformation. So whenever you want to transform a concrete area in your life, something specific about your life situation, the most important question is how you can transform yourself so that you transform this particular area of your life. So we are focusing on ourselves. That's also very important. Why? Well, because that's the only thing we can control. We can control our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, our motivation, ritual, habits. That's what we can control. So I want you to look at this as how I can transform myself so that certain area transforms in my life, or my life transforms altogether, or I get those dream results that I would like to have. It's very empowering when you think this way, because it's in your hands. It's something that you can do. And that's the only thing actually that you can do. You can control yourself, your thoughts, emotions, focus, actions. That's it. So really look at this as a personal transformation, even if it's just about particular area. Let's say you want to transform your career. You want to change your career. You want your career to be much more fulfilling. And the way to do that is to transform yourself so that you create the outcome you want, particularly in career, but maybe in other areas as well. So it's always about transforming yourself. Okay, so another thing that's also related to this is, who do you need to become? It's kind of the same question, actually. Who do you need to become so that this particular area in your life or the thing you want to transform really changes? Who do you need to be? That's also very empowering, because the way you look at yourself really defines the results that you would create. And here is something I want to share with you, an idea. Probably many of you have heard about this concept, fake it till you make it. But recently I found another perspective on this, which I really like and I want to share with you. It's fake it till you become it. So it's really important. Who do you need to become? Who do you need to be so that you make this transformation happen for you, or this life area change according to your desires and your dreams? Who do you need to be? Do you need to be more responsible? Do you need to be more confident, more hardworking, more motivated? Whatever the case, think of it as, who do I need to become? Again, I repeat, it's very inspiring and very empowering at the same time. And of course, it's very important to focus on the things that you can really control. And in this way, you focus on the things that can really change for you. For example, your thoughts, your focus, your emotions, and your actions, your beliefs. Those are the things that you can control. So focus on that. What is it that you need to change about this so that you transform a certain area in your life? And there are also two general approaches when it comes to transformation, and they are completely different. So the first one would be trying to change your life, or everything or many things about your life at the same time. So you focus on your health, you focus on your relationship, you focus on your career, on your personal growth, and you are trying to do it at the same time. The other approach would be to do it step by step, to focus on one thing at a time. And generally, both of those approaches may work, but not for everyone. So I believe that for most people, what would work better is to focus one step at a time, to transform one thing, then the other, and then you build up momentum and it gets easier and easier. And there are folks who can really do it all at once. They are usually those who like intensity, they like kind of things to be more dramatic, more emotional, and that's fine. But there is always a risk that at some point it gets too overwhelming and you may drop off. So you have to take this decision for yourself, knowing how things happen for you usually. But if you hesitate, I would recommend the approach step by step. So you pick up one area. It could be career, it could be health, it could be how you feel about your body, relationship, whatever, and you work on that. You transform it, then you move to the other thing. That's what I would recommend for most people. And there is the next step, which is taking decision. This is also very important because in this way, you are giving yourself a promise. The promise that you would commit, because let me tell you a secret, my friend, it will take some consistency and also action. So you have to be very committed. You have to promise yourself that you will be there. You will be there for yourself, basically. So taking the decision and being specific about it. And of course, it's great if you can connect this to concrete time frame. For example, I'm taking this decision right now, and tomorrow I'm taking the first steps. And we are going to talk about the steps in a couple of minutes. But before we get there, we have to take the decision. And you don't necessarily need to have all the steps prepared, all the answers. But taking the decision is the first step that's moving you ahead. So don't justify procrastination by telling yourself, okay, but I don't really know how to do it. What should I do? Or how much time it would take? I'm confused. Yeah, we all have those sometimes. But that's why my advice is first to take the decision. I am gonna transform this area of my life. And the more specific you are, the better. The more niche you are, the better. So what we want here is focus. We want concrete descriptions or results or whatever it is that you want to focus on. And then comes the how. So we begin with why, then we move to what, and after that comes the how. So take the decision. It's very empowering. Promise yourself that you would do whatever it takes. And now we can get to the action part. Very important. And unfortunately, even if you do all the other steps, if you don't do the action part, it wouldn't make any difference. But I also recommend not to skip directly to the action part, because the other things that we talked about are the foundation. The why, the focus, the decision, they build up the foundation. And then you get to the action part. And here is my advice. It's very practical and it can really help you to move forward. So I want you to commit to 2 actions. And it would be great if they can be regular actions. So not something that you just do, once in a while or once and you think you are done, something that you do regularly. And they should be some specific things. And let me describe them to you. First one, the first action should be the simplest thing you can think of. That would help you to transform this area of your life. What's that thing that would cost you almost nothing, or at least you are completely sure that you can do it and it won't be hard and it will make a difference? Of course, here we don't necessarily need drastic change, because the truth is that drastic change happens over time. The small things that we commit to regularly and the consistency are what bring those drastic transformations. So think about what would be the simplest thing. If we talk about exercise or health or working on your body shape, for example, this could be as simple as doing 3 push-ups each day. And it may sound kind of ridiculous and, it doesn't really make a difference. Why should I bother even doing that? But I know one concrete person with this particular example, with the 3 push-ups. This is a lovely lady, and she is doing this every morning. Only 3 push-ups. And when you look at her, you can really tell that she is exercising. But she has done this for a very long time, and she is very consistent. And you may find other suggestions, other ideas that are relevantly small, maybe not push-ups, especially if you want to change career, but it could be something like making a research 10 minutes a day, each day, or reading a book that would help you to improve your skills. Or it can even be committing to listen to this podcast each week. Whatever, just pick up one thing that you are absolutely sure you can commit to. It won't cost you too much, and over time it will bring some impact. Because here's the thing, when you show yourself that you are committed and you are following through, you build up momentum. And that's what can help you to focus on the other stuff that would probably be more challenging. So even if you do just this small step regularly, at some point you are gonna get further ahead. You are going to be closer to transforming this particular area. And let's go to the other action, the second action that you need to commit to. This should be the thing that you know would bring the biggest impact, would make the most significant change. And probably this would be something that's much more difficult. But here is the thing. Sometimes we just do things that are hard, but they are not efficient enough. So there is a difference. Something might be difficult, but not really get you further ahead. So that's why we are not just going for the difficult things, we are going for the meaningful things, the most important thing. What's the action, the regular action that if you commit to, you know it would bring the biggest impact over time? This can be something like consulting with a specialist in the particular area that you want to transform. This could be something that requires more time, maybe starting some kind of training, educating yourself, or committing to a concrete fitness program. Of course, there are so many options here depending on the goal you have. But those are the two questions you should ask yourself, the two actions that you should commit to. Number one, the simplest thing that you can commit to that would bring some kind of change over time. And number two, the one which would make the biggest impact, the biggest difference in your life. And I also want to add here that you have to be prepared that this is a process and it takes time, especially when we talk about profound, radical changes and transformations. Obviously, it takes time, my friend. So at some point, it's very possible that you can feel overwhelmed. And what I want you to remind yourself at this point is that this is what is supposed to happen. If you feel like that, it means that you are doing it right, my friend. And you may look at this also as growing pain. Or you know how when you start exercising, you feel sore after that. It just shows that you have done some work. And that's great. It's something that you should celebrate. You should praise yourself for. So whenever you feel like, okay, it's too hard, okay, I'm so tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm angry, I'm not moving as fast as I would like to, it's not transforming as I wanted it to happen, just remind yourself, you are doing it right. If you feel like it's all unicorns and butterflies and roses, chances are it's not a really deep transformation. Deep transformations, they require hard work, consistency, and that's why we need the motivation. That's why we need the compelling reason. And also, one of the most important things in this process is very simple, actually. It's just don't give up. Don't give up. It's not surprising, is it? So, in my experience, and I really have lots of personal experience in this area, also experience with clients, the one thing that I have to point as most important is consistency. Just don't give up. And if something doesn't work, you just have to try something else. But if you know your why, if you have taken the decision, if you are very specific about the thing that you would like to transform, then you can do it. You just have to navigate the actions. Maybe you can try different things, but eventually it will happen. And the truth is that when you start seeing the first results, it's so motivating and it gets easier, because if you have some results behind your back, it's so much easier to move ahead and to keep going and to keep trying and working and, You may feel overwhelmed, but at least you know why. You know it works. So the beginning is the most important. That's absolutely true. But it's also extremely important to commit and to promise yourself that you won't give up. And it's okay if on the road, on the path, you decide that some things need to be changed and you have different priorities. That's a different situation. But if you still want it, but you just feel, okay, it's not gonna work or I'm not doing it right, that's not okay. So if you still want it, if you still believe in your compelling why, you should keep going. Okay, my friends, so that's my process for life transformation. And let's have a quick review so that you can really remember all of the steps. First of all, we are talking about profound, radical changes that, here is the essence, allow you to grow and move to a higher level. We are talking about the self-conscious transformation, or basically the decision that you take and the desire that you have to transform something in your life. We start with knowing your why, or your compelling reason, which is what will help you to move forward and follow through and keep going when things get harder. You have to look at the transformation as transforming yourself, which eventually leads to other transformations in concrete life areas or situations and anything else. So the focus is on you and the things that you can control. Those are your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions. Then we talked about the different approaches. The one approach which is all in, which can work for some people, but for most people, I would recommend the step-by-step process. You pick up one concrete area or one particular thing that you want to transform, and then you go for that. You have to take the decision and be specific about what is it exactly that you want to transform, how does it look like, and you have to make it sound positive, attractive. You have to feel inspired. You have to feel like it's lighting up inside of you. Very important part. And then you have to think about the two actions. One action would be the simplest thing you can do right now, but you have to do it regularly. And the other thing is the action that would bring the biggest impact. Hint, probably that's something which is more difficult. So you just need to commit to those two actions, but don't neglect the easy one because it will help you to build momentum. And remember that whenever you feel overwhelmed, it just shows that you are doing a real work there. You are growing. Those are growing pains, and that's okay. You have to remember just to keep going. Don't give up. So that's my process for personal transformation. I'm so excited to begin this journey with you guys. I have so many things I want to share with you, which are all about bringing clarity in your life, bringing you inspiration, empowerment, even more knowledge. And what we are going for here is basically how we can become the conscious creators of our own destiny. That's the purpose of this podcast. So thank you very much for joining me during the very first episode. I have many things prepared for you. Make sure to subscribe, and I would love it if you can leave a review for this podcast. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode. For more information, go to marsstars.net and make sure to sign up for the free training on how to create a psychological profile with astrology.